Ryan Lynch, everybody.
Hello.
You sexy motherfucker.
Thank you. Oh, it's been nice. It's nice to be told that by you. It's a beautiful voice. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, man. Good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's been a crazy 48 hours. Beyond exhausted, but like I'm beyond exhausted.
Really?
So like it doesn't even affect me right now. I'm gonna crash tonight. That's gonna be a problem. That's gonna roll into my weekend. It's only Tuesday, but that's not right now.
Yeah, you're good now.
I'm good right now. I'm here with you.
Mate, you're so good.
I'm feeling pretty. What's more than good? Would it be better than good?
Great.
Would be great. I'm feeling great right now.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
What's been happening? Why are you...
Traveling a lot. I was in Florida this past weekend. Saw my whole family. My fiance and my dad ran the Tampa Bay half, and that was great. So we're out there. Then we flew back.
How old's your dad?
I flew back. 64.
And he just ran a half marathon.
Yeah.
What a fucking legend.
He just does it.
What
he just
a legend.
does stuff.
I respect that, man.
Shout out to Keith.
Keith, shout out.
Shout out to Keith.
You,
Yeah.
you raised a good boy here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But yeah, so I got back yesterday at I landed at 8 a.m. Woke up at 4 in Tampa, got in at 8:30, got back, worked for a little bit. Then I had a show at 9 o'clock last night.
Nice.
And then I didn't go to bed until 1:30. Not because I was partying. It was a late night.
Happens, man.
And then I had a dentist appointment this morning. So it's just like, I really need to catch up on the sleep.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm fine. But this is either going to affect me on Friday or in like 30 years. Heart attack either this Friday or in 30 years from Friday. So I'm just hoping that I can mitigate that by sleeping a solid 8 hours tonight for the first time. And I don't know how I can remember.
Yeah. I hope my past life, even my current life sometimes, doesn't catch up to me in the olden days.
Yeah.
Because I haven't always been the best to my body.
Yeah. What are some of your nasty habits that maybe you still have, but
I don't just drink.
Or you're trying to outgrow drinking?
Drinking was always a big one. And we start early in Australia. We start early. It's a little different now. The younger generation's getting better, a lot better. They're a lot more health conscious. Like my cousin, he doesn't even really go out drinking at all, and his friends don't drink. But I don't know, when we were going through, man, it was all the time. You're drinking in Australia when I was going through. I'm 35, so I was born in 89. You were going to parties and drinking every weekend from the age of 15.
15.
Like every weekend.
Now, was there...
And drinking heavily too.
Like, we're talking like liquor?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there as much of a binge drinking phenomena in Australia as there is in the States? Because I know in like Europe, a lot of people, they grow up with a little glass of wine with dinner on Sunday, and they're kind of eased into it, and there's not as much of a chug blanket thrown over the idea of drinking, whereas in the States, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, same in Australia, and I think we start early. I don't know how early do people start in the States? Because I know you guys you cannot legally drink until you're 21.
Yeah,
but I'm sure that doesn't stop you guys because you're going to college at 18 and.
Yeah, that didn't stop. I guess I was a little bit like I didn't drink until I don't know 16. Probably had my first cocky poo. So, but I know. I meet people that are like, I started drinking when I was 12. My dad gave me the bottle, and that's just hasn't been my journey. But I know that in the States, that is the journey for many.
Well, how do you guys get a hold of alcohol when you are 18 and you're in colleges, and how does that work? Are you getting people to buy it for you?
Yeah, in college, I was in a fraternity, and so I had when I was a freshman, I had seniors and juniors, guys above 21 that would go out, grab us a case, or we'd just go hang out at their houses, and they obviously had it stocked in their fridge, so wasn't too worried about that. I didn't have a fake ID my freshman year. A lot of people did that. And this is all hypothetical for legal senses. Sophomore year, I stumbled into a card that helped me manipulate age and time. Don't really know what that kind of card is, and if it is anything that you could pin down, I think it's like a fake thing that I'm making up right now. Right, Cam? So I got that, whatever that was, and for whatever reason,
I was that. I'm interested,
dude. Blind trust. That kind of situation, getting that thing ordered is like either like nothing bad happens or like you're like done with college.
Yeah, police are knocking on your door.
And your like trajectory of life is just so much not of what it was supposed to be just because of the numbers. It's just like a lottery. It's like losing the lottery, but by winning it. So I had a friend doing a bulk purchase and, hey, you want in? I said, hey, yeah, I want in. And luckily, nothing bad happened. We took our photos and submitted them and had them within a couple weeks. And I personally had no issues. I know some people did. The same thing with at the bars. You go to the places where you know that they turn a blind eye. Some of these more tchotchke places that are okay with that. And then there's the more legit places that have a reputation of like, don't even try. Don't even try to use a fabricated form of identification. We will take it. We'll call the cops. Every single story imaginable that would prevent you from doing that was instilled in all of our brains. So we avoided that. And, you know, we lost a couple people to having it taken away early. I was one of the lucky ones that was able to avoid.
So what happens when you get caught with fake ID in America? Like, is it suspended from college? Like, is it taken really seriously, or?
So I think it's more of a police issue.
Okay.
It's a felony.
Okay.
It's a felony. And I'll be honest, I don't really know what that means, but I know that felony is like serious.
Yeah, it's a bad word.
I know felony is a bad one. It's not a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
Misdemeanor, dismiss. That's how I think of that word. And then felony is just like, that's what you see on the news after someone like hurt somebody.
Yeah.
So, yeah, dude, I got lucky. I don't know. You probably get suspended from college and potentially expelled or banned. And then, you know, that's your life now. Now, I'm sure many people recover. A lot of bouncers will take the ID and just, you know, it's like an ego trip. So they'll just put it in their back pocket and throw it out. But
apparently some of them will like take it, but then they're like $20 you can have it back, or $30 you can have it back.
Yeah. I'm glad that didn't happen to me because I would give them the $30 and then they would say, okay, go away.
Yeah, yeah.
And they'll do that too and not even give you the card.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So I don't know. But what about you? How did you guys go about it?
Well, we get at 18 we can drink.
And you can purchase?
Purchase.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I don't know. I'm in two mindsets about it. I'd like to hear what you think about that actually. Do you think it's better do you guys sit there and complain, why do we have to wait till we're 21? Like other countries, it's 18. I mean, most of the world is 18.
Yeah.
Europe's all 18. Central and South America, I mean, Australia, everywhere I know is 18. I don't know many other countries at all that are 21. I'm sure there are some. But yeah, I'm interested to know what you think. Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, I think it's a good question. I think it's relative to where you are. So if I'm 18 and I'm complaining about having to wait 3 years to buy a drink, I bet when you were 15, you guys were complaining about how you had to wait 3 years to buy a drink. You know what I mean?
I didn't really think
so
about it.
It's kind of relative. I mean, I guess
you're right.
I didn't go to parties a lot in high school. I went to some towards the end. And there was always one person that had an older brother or an older sister or a parent that didn't care as long as we did whatever we did under their roof so they could keep an eye on us. So there's always a way, but there wasn't as much desire on my end. I knew that when I got to college, that's when I would really, you know, have fun with that stuff.
I think that's a good approach though.
Yeah.
I had the friends' parents that would buy them alcohol, but they'd buy them a 6-pack of mid-strength beers.
Mid-strength beers.
Yeah, what's what we call them, like mid-strength or light beers. Because your light beers, your Bud Light isn't really a light beer. That's more of a mid-strength beer, I would say. Like a light beer is like a 1% beer to us. Like it's like nothing. You would have to drink 1 million of them to even feel anything.
Truly light.
Yeah.
That's like the equivalent to like our non-alcoholic beers.
Almost,
because there's a little bit of alcohol in like the athletics.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I think, that is a good approach because these guys would end up being responsible.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you tell your kids, no, blanket, no, you can't drink, they're going to find a way to do it.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
Yeah.
And then they're just going to get fucking shit-faced.
Yeah, those are the kids that bad stuff happens to. Not all of them, but like when a bad thing happens, it's because, you know, they're doing something that you're not supposed to do, but because someone told you not to do it so hard, you want to do it that much more.
And then when you do get into trouble, you can't tell anyone.
You can't tell anyone.
You can't call for help.
You're like, Dad, hey, I hit somebody. Yeah. You can't call your dad and tell him that you hit somebody. No, you keep
you just
that
have
to
to
yourself.
Go around hitting more people.
Go home and just like pretend like you didn't hit somebody.
Yeah.
Go to school the next day and like take that.
Then hit your teacher.
No, I don't know about that. I don't know what that. Were you violent? Were you violent in school?
Never.
I don't take you as that kind of guy.
Nah, no.
No.
I've never been in a. I've been in a few like scuffles and stuff, but never been on like a one-on-one fight with someone.
What's a scuffle? Is that like a
Like just being
shoulder bump
involved
and
in
a
like
hey?
group fights, like where there's literally like 5 of us and 5 of them, and it's bad timing. Everyone's sort of thrown a swing in, and it's kind of ended quickly.
Yeah.
I've been in those and through sports and stuff like that, but no, I never had like a one-on-one. Like, have you?
I don't think I've ever thrown before. I've never even. I don't think I've ever done a wind up and a throw. So no.
Yeah.
No, I just haven't.
I'm not a violent person. I don't have that in me. I've never been, and I to be honest, I find it quite frightening. I don't want to be in that situation. I don't, and I think it's just not me.
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt someone either.
Yeah, I don't want to hurt someone. I also just first off, I don't know if I'm capable of throwing. I mean, physically, I definitely I can do it, but like I don't know if like what is it called when you don't want you don't like to fight. There's a term for it. A pacifist. I don't know. I just don't want to do that because like what are you gonna get out of it? No matter what happens, there's a likelihood that the cops get called and you get charged for assault. I'm not like thinking about like, oh, I'm not gonna fight because of that, but like I'm just not gonna do that.
No.
I like to hurt people with my words.
Yeah.
I like to hurt them with words. I like to point out things about them that make them insecure. If they're bothering me, I like to point out things like that. I like to be mean like that. I love being hurtful with words. Only the people that are hurtful to me.
Yeah, of course.
But like I'm not gonna like wind up and try to square up with people.
Yeah.
But you were in the pit with a squad of 5 guys.
Yeah.
Like West Side Story style. So like who was your target? Like I'm sure you guys all had to like lock in on somebody, or was there just so much chaos that
it was just more chaotic at those points? Like I remember this one party, it was at my friend's place, and there was like a bunch of dudes, my group of mates, and it was just basically 2 guys that one on each side that was squaring up at first, and then it's just everyone comes in. And it's just a wild, shitty fight that no one really gets overly hurt, but no one really hurts anyone in return. And it's, I think, how did it start? One of my friends cracked a pool cue over someone's head.
Oh, it's like a movie.
Yeah, and then it was just all in.
All in.
Yeah, and then it's fun though. It's fun when you do like get through one of those and you're with the boys at the end of the night and you're like, yeah.
I mean, I've been there for fights. I've been more of like. I haven't gotten into the scrum of it unless I'm pulling somebody away. I'm not really adding to it. I'm really trying to withdraw from the fight or withdraw one of my guys from the fight. But there is such a rush when if your friend hits somebody over the head with a pool cue or someone pushes somebody and you're like, oh, a fight's about to happen. That little like burst of just like excitement and adrenaline that comes into the pit of your chest and your stomach. Like I'm all about that. Like I love tapping on a friend's shoulder and be like, yo, look.
Yeah.
Being the person to present to another friend an altercation or chaotic moment. Like, dude, look what's happened. Like we gotta go.
Yeah.
Like that's what it's all about. What it's all about.
I had some friends growing up, couple of like one of my friends, he's not alive now, Will, but he was one of my best mates, and he just loved to fight. Yeah, I had another friend, Alex. Shout out to Alex. He, these guys would go out to fight, like they loved it.
I know people like that. Yeah.
They loved it, and it's good to have a couple of those in your group of friends. Not good when they're starting fights, but when fights get started on you, because when you're going out and everyone's like, this is the worst part about Australia is because we can go to nightclubs at 18. So many people are immature, and we do have a problem with fighting. There is a lot of fighting in Australia. There's they banned glasses in pubs and clubs pretty early. So I think it's like pubs will serve glasses, but only till a certain time. Then they have to pull out the plastic glasses. Because people were just fucking glassing each other like crazy.
Each other.
That's what they call it when you just grab a glass and go on the face. It was happening like every other day. It's because people don't have the maturity to handle their alcohol. And, there's all these kids, like 18-year-old egos and testosterone. there's a big problem with fighting.
So you were going out. You were 18 in like 2006.
Yeah, 2007 I turned 18.
2007.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, dude. That's. I didn't know that it was such a big deal. They got to swap out the drinkware.
Yeah, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's I think, to be honest, if I had a choice now, I would have preferred it to be 21 in Australia. And I think there's something about having the maturity to handle your alcohol. And yeah, it's fine when you're at a party with your friends. But when you're out in public, the public arena where there's other people around, and it's not what you do doesn't just affect yourself, it affects other people.
Yeah.
I'd rather be in a place where everyone's at least 21 getting blind. I think it's a better situation to be in.
Yeah. I mean, more years under your belt.
Yeah, can't be a bad thing.
Yeah. I've noticed too, there's a trend where people are, the Gen Z, where I consider myself old Gen Z.
Mm-hmm.
I'm right at the cusp. I was born in 96, so I can identify as a millennial or Gen Z. I choose Gen Z, and I'm proud of it.
So you can literally choose?
Well, I mean, it's not something on like your license or anything. Yeah. So it's, you Google, it's like a credit score. There's like 3 different platforms that tell you your score. They're all slightly different on each of them, Equifax and True, whatever the other ones are. And you look up one thing, it says, you're a millennial. You're born 96, you're Gen Z. You're a millennial, you're Gen Z. I choose to be Gen Z. So I think the younger Gen Z generation has kind of opted out of drinking more so than the older generations.
Why do you think that is? Because I've noticed that as well.
Mental health, however that word means to people, whether it's just like, okay, or it's like fully fixated on that terminology and like, treating it like a religion. I think a lot of people are just like, I'm over it. And also the exposure to all the videos talking about the benefits and the deterrence to why you should or shouldn't do alcohol. I think people are finding fun sober. And so I do think that there's less people prioritizing drinking as much as they did maybe a couple generations ago or even a couple decades ago by the time I was or by the time you were starting to drink. So I don't know if that be the case in Australia.
Yeah, it is the case in Australia. There's just like a little bit before I left to go traveling a few years ago, I'd sold a property and I moved in with a girl whose parents owned an apartment in the city, and I was working in the city in construction. So I was just share housing with her for like 5 months until I went traveling. And this girl was 19 in university, and her friends would come over all the time. And that's when I really noticed, I was like, wow, this generation is very different to my generation.
Yeah.
They are just very conscious of what they're doing. They don't smoke like a heap of weed. They're not doing drugs. Like by 18, I was taking ecstasy most weekends. I was really having fun, a lot of fun.
Damn.
But these guys are so different, and I thought, well, that's a really good thing. Whatever's happening in society for that to manifest, I don't know what it is, because it's not like you see on TV all the time ads or alcohol's bad, stop drinking. Well, I mean, I don't anyway.
No.
But there has certainly been some sort of cultural shift for whatever reason, and I agree with it.
Yeah, I think it's good that there's less pressure for people that don't want to do it to feel like they have to do it. It's nice that they have these Heineken Zeros, Miller Lite Zeros, or every type of alcohol has a 0% alcohol.
They're great
drink
too.
Now.
I love the Heineken Zeros.
I think I had a Heine Zero once. It was pretty good. Tastes just like it.
It tastes like it. It makes you feel like you're having a beer with your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in the winter I drink a little more than. Right around this time is where I cut back until the spring. Mm-hmm. If I have like an activity or an event coming up, about a month out, I really button up, buckle down, get into shape. Because during the winter, I drink a little too much Guinness. Ooh. And going back to the Bud Light thing, Bud Light's only 10 calories less than... Guinness is only 10 calories more than a Bud Light.
Wow.
And you would think that Guinness is like thick because it's black.
Yeah.
It's a black beer. And it's the darkest beer, and like it looks nothing like any other beer, but it's lighter than a Budweiser.
Wow. I love Guinness.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's a great beer.
It's fabulous.
Yeah. There's nothing, and the Irish bars. I love the pub culture in New York. I think it's the best in the world. People would probably say London is better, but I don't know. there's something about all the little pubs in New York that are just fantastic, and they're open till 4 a.m. Like the good ones. It's all the little neighborhood bars. You know, the ones that aren't on the main roads. They're down the back streets, and you know they're not big, but they're everywhere once you start looking around. And they're so much fun.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, I've been here it'll be 3 years in May, and like. You quickly realize that the better places are the ones that are less occupied.
Yeah.
I mean, a bar to stand at, a bar to have a seat at, a bar where you don't have to fight for a seat. Are you kidding me? Like that puts lead in my pencil, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's fantastic. And you got to go to Mr. Derple Flurple. I know next door. I went to Mr. Purple once and like, cool, got it. Get it.
Yeah.
We're going to be crowded on an elevator? Got it. We're going to pay $20 for nothing? Got it. People are going to look at you like they want to kill you because you happen to be standing where you are in that particular moment, and they're just mad at themselves for making bad choices in their life, so they're going to take it out on the person that's standing right in front of them? Got it. Meanwhile, go to a little pub, get yourself some chicken tenders and a Guinness. Boom.
Damn good.
Nice to breathe. After that, the show at the Rose... Everyone was hanging out at that whatever bar it was. It was big. It was spacious.
Was this last night?
No, like 2 weeks ago. You were there.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. There's places to stand. There's places to roam.
Oh, that's where we were after. Yeah.
There's places to roam.
Yeah.
You want to find out, and that's what's so great about this city. You can find a bar, and it's tough to do so, but when you do, you can find a bar where you can roam around, and that is special.
Yeah.
It is.
I hate it when you have to walk sideways through a bar.
No, I walk in with a group of people to a crowded bar, and if everyone's bought into going to that place, I'm down. I'm a team player. But if I go in there and I've got a foot in the door, foot out the door on whether or not I want to stay out for the night, and I walk in there and it is packed like the Krusty Krab in the first episode of SpongeBob with the sardines, I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yes.
No, thank you.
Dude, and I will never line up.
No.
I'm
over that.
I'm not going to a place where there's a lineup of people at the front. Oh, the food is so good. Yeah, fuck that. I can go get good food anywhere. This is like a big city. I'm not going to go line up 30 minutes. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Can you move your bottle just back there to the... Yeah, gotcha. That's perfect.
Yeah, I understand that. The lines for the
like
bars.
Bradley Cooper has just opened up a sandwich shop.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yes, something in Coops.
They call them, what do they do?
The cheesesteaks.
That's it. But apparently people are lining up 4 hours for these things.
Really?
And I love Bradley Cooper. Shout out to Bradley Cooper if you ever listen. He's amazing. But for 4 hours for these people to eat a sandwich made by Bradley Cooper, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Could you do it?
I disagree.
Would you do it?
First off,
Tell me.
Yeah, I would, but I don't know. I don't know. I would wait in line. I don't know if I feel like 4 hours. That's really long. I don't like Bradley Cooper 4 hours long. I like him I don't like to do this. I don't like to wait in line, but I like Bradley Cooper an hour and 15 minutes long.
Okay.
And that's long. But I'll be honest, the line situation, I have more grievances with it when it's going out time and less so for food.
Yeah, okay. That's interesting.
But
I could do Bradley Cooper, I reckon, 45 minutes.
40, yeah, that's your tolerance level?
That's it.
That's fair.
Where I'd be at.
That's fair.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than being out with a group of people and you might be that person in this situation for me, but you go to a place that is really great and you're excited about going there for dinner and they're like, okay, the wait's going to be about 45 minutes to an hour. Would you like to put your name in? And 3 people that you're with are totally down to wait 45 minutes. You go fuck around at a bar across the street, or you just go walk around. You go shopping. You're in New York. You can do anything while you wait. And then one friend's like, "That's ridiculous. I'm not waiting that long. Let's just go to McDonald's."
No, I would never do that.
Nice place that you can only get in New York, McDonald's.
Nah.
That person should die.
Yeah.
I hate that person. I hate their energy. I hate the dismissal. I hate come on, we're not doing that. How about 3 of the 4 of us want to do that? 3 of the 4 of us are down to do that.
Firstly,
Fuck you.
You couldn't pay me to eat McDonald's. I would never eat McDonald's nowadays.
Yeah.
And as long as you can go to another bar and hang out, like if they're going to get your phone number and send you a message, of course. It's just, I have a problem with literally standing in line like a donut. And it's just like, oh yeah, this is so worth it. Like there's so many other places.
You don't like when people walk by and point at you?
No, I just don't
Look
like
at this guy.
I just don't like wasting my time. I think time's so precious. I really do. So it has to be really good for me to want to wait in a line for something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bradley Cooper situation, my fiance and I misread. I was going to say we, but I fucked up. I saw him post on his Instagram story like, hey, I'm going to be here at like 1 o'clock today. And I saw that.
So I heard he only opens it when he's there.
I think so. I think
Okay.
that's the case. That
Right.
better be the case if I dedicate some time to go see him. But
Yeah.
he posted, he's like, hey, we're going to be there at 1 o'clock. And so I grab my fiance and it's freezing out. Fucking hypothermia cold out. And we go. And it's like
Good on you.
door to door, 30 minutes each. We get to the place. There's no line. And then we see a sign that was like, hey, we're actually going to be there at 6 o'clock tonight. And so that was our attempt to go see him. And I was willing to wait in the freezing cold for an hour and 15 minutes tops.
If you could say something to Bradley Cooper right now, what would you say to him? Like, just speak into the camera. Tell him about how he just misled you.
I would just say, hey, Brad, or Bradley. And I wouldn't really say much more than that. He's just a dude. He's just a guy. And like I'd say,
I love him.
And I love his work.
I think he's one of the best actors getting around.
Do you ever bump into a celebrity, or have you bumped into anybody? Have you thought about what you'd say if you bump into somebody? 'Cause I have a thought about that, but I want to hear what you got.
Okay, well, I saw Mark Norman on the train the other day, and I didn't say anything. And then the other day, I saw Matt Damon in Central Park the other day. We walked past each other. I didn't say anything. I have this thing where like most of the time I'm like, let them be. They're just people. But I was working in King's Cross Station when I was living in London, and I was doing maintenance there as an electrician, and they were filming a movie at the time, and Pierce Brosnan walks out. And he does his little thing. The film crew's all there. Huge film crew. He does his little thing. He walks down the stairs with a book in his hand. And then he walks back up the stairs, and I'm up the stairs waiting. And as he comes past me, I was like, shit, you know what? I'm never going to get this moment again. This is Pierce fucking Brosnan. So I said, oi, Pierce. And he turns around. It's like, mate, I'm from Australia.
Hands up. You gotta put the hands up. Hands up. Not going to shoot you. Just saying hi.
I'm from Australia. I know I'm not going to get this moment again. Can I please get a picture with you? And he's like, yeah, mate, no worries. I can't do the British accent. No worries, sir. No, but he was very gracious. Got a picture of him with him. And so I have been known once to disturb a celebrity. What about you?
That's fine. I'm not coming at it with
No,
any-
I know.
I too believe that they're people, and they don't, they're just doing their job. And I've seen in interviews, like, when it's time to say hi to people, when they're, at like signings and things like that, they're happy to put on a happy face and take photos and stuff like that. But I learned at a young age to just leave people be. Do you follow like the MLB at all? Are you familiar with the Yankees, like old team players and stuff? No. Well, there's this catcher on the Yankees named Jorge Posada, and I said his name way too enunciated, as if his name's Jorge Posada. Okay, not Jorge Posada. Mm-hmm. But he played for the Yankees. He was a catcher, Hall of Famer, has 5 rings, absolutely amazing. And I was at the Bahamas with my family, and I heard a little rumor from someone walking by. He's like, oh, Jorge Posada's at the hotel. Jorge Posada's at the hotel. I'm like 12, and I was just ecstatic at that idea. And I was like, I can't wait to bump into Jorge Posada. I'm going to say hi to him. He's my best friend. We're going to get nachos together. Like, we're going to be best buddies, me and Jorge. And so, lo and behold, later that night, we're in this certain area. It's like by a dock with boats. And I overhear someone else say, oh, that's Jorge Posada. And I was like, huh, Jorge? And I saw him. He's walking to his boat with his family. And it's behind, like, a blocked area. And I run underneath the ropes of the blocked area. And I'm like, Jorge. And then he turns around, and he's absolutely flustered. And he's pissed off. And I was like, hi. And he didn't acknowledge me and went onto his boat. And in that moment, I thought nothing of it. But after reflecting, I'm like, I wish he punched me in the face, dude. I would have been terrified if someone was screaming, Jorge. It's like counting down with like a bomb strapped around my body. Like I startled him so badly. This guy's just trying to enjoy time with his family. This little snot-nosed little fucker. Jorge. Poor guy just needs a minute.
I think the opposite. I think he should have just given you a wave. You're a kid.
I think maybe I got an eyebrow.
Yeah.
Like
How hard would it be to just go? He would have made your life.
Yeah. Well,
you could be a famous baseball player right now. You know, that could have changed the trajectory.
It could have.
Of Ryan Lynch.
Yeah, but I understand that. I understand why he did what he did, but deeply rooted inside of me, there is like some sort of resentment and dismissiveness towards him whenever people talk about how great he is. I'm like, he's not that great.
Yeah.
And that's deeply rooted because of that interaction. Other than that, everything he did was totally fine. I just don't like when people make me feel sad.
Yeah.
I don't like when things don't go my way. When something doesn't go our way, we get upset. It makes us mad at the world. But I did see Jeremy Strong. Do you watch Succession?
No.
He is a very serious actor, and he plays a very serious character on the show Succession. And he lives in my neighborhood, and I was walking by him. And, you know, I follow all of the movie accounts. I keep up with the TV shows that I like for when they start production and stuff. And I knew that they were just getting started and shooting the 4th and final season of that show. And I'm walking down the street, and I see him in a distance, and he's holding a big packet of papers, which I believe is the script. And I make note of that. And I am walking by him, and I was contemplating saying, "Hi, Jeremy, love your work. Love your work." That's what I want to say when I bump into an athlete or a celebrity. I want to do the hands up just like you did.
Yeah.
Hey, love your work. Don't want to say, "Hey, I love you. I don't know you." They are like, "You don't know me." I know that actors don't like when they're told, "I love you. I love you. I love you so much." No, like, love your work. And I think they appreciate it. It humanizes everybody. But I was too scared to say something because I think he was in character. He looked very angry and he looked very flustered. We made eye contact. We had that as I walked by him. We made eye contact, and I think as I was stepping, I gave a little more of a head, like a little like an acknowledgement, like a howdy kind of head nod. And he kind of looked at me a little, like he looked back at me a second time when I did the head nod, and he didn't say anything. And now we're kind of like really like the front of him is towards the back of me, if that makes sense, in how we're crossing each other. So there was no verbal acknowledgement. And I think he would have given me some sort of head nod, but he was practicing some sort of monologue for the show. And I'm actually very glad with how that interaction went, because I was just proud of myself for not trying to do too much.
Well, let me ask you, if your moment comes where you're famous, let's hope it does, let's hope it comes for all of us, how do you think that would change you? And what do you think you would want be done in those situations?
That would be great. I have a tough time. I love attention. I think that's part of a reason why a lot of people do front of camera stuff, comedy stuff, silly stuff. You know, I like making people laugh. I like attention. But whenever I receive praise, I want to diffuse it immediately. And I am uncomfortable receiving any sort of praise. If I do a show and if it goes well and people tell me like, "Oh, that was a great show, you did great," I don't know how to accept a compliment. And so I'm working on that, because I know that to the person giving the compliment, that's probably the most annoying thing ever, when someone's like, "Oh no," because I'm not doing like, "Oh no, I did terrible." I'm just like, "Thank you so much," and then I try to change the subject.
No, I think that's fine. I think when someone pays you a compliment, you should be gracious.
Yeah,
you should say thank you.
Oh, of
I
course.
really appreciate it. Thank you. But of course, you got to change the subject. What are you going to do? Just sit there and talk about how good you were for?
I can't do that.
No,
some people
do.
do.
Close friends, I do. Like, I'll go home. When my wife comes and watches me every now and again, I'll go home and we'll talk to her about the set, and friends, like friends that are in comedy especially, I'll be like, "All right, what do you think? Do you do you think I need to change anything?" If I want it. Sometimes I don't at all, especially if it was a good set. But I also think it's really important to let the comedian live in the moment for a bit. Like, this is changing the subject just a little bit, but if someone, when you do have a set, good or bad, you kind of know. And I think you shouldn't rain on someone's parade by giving too much feedback if it's not asked. because a lot of people can get in their heads about their own sets. You know, a lot of people can be pretty butthurt especially if something doesn't go right. And I think the worst thing you can do is go up to like a friend and be like, oh, you should have done this or you should have done that. I think you should let people have their space, let them reflect. And then when they're ready to receive the feedback, which is when they basically ask, then you that's the right time to do it. So I just wanted to. Anyway, we veered off, but let's go back.
No, I agree.
Go back.
I don't even think that was really a veer. I think we just pulled over for a moment. We're on the
we
same
did the
highway.
Weave. We did the weave.
We're still here. We just parked the car for a moment. Yeah, I agree with that. There's that is so inappropriate to yuck someone's yum.
Yeah,
or
it's happened to me a couple of times.
Beat a dead horse.
Yeah, and I've done it to someone as well, and I saw in their eyes how much it hurt. So I've learned that lesson from experience. Yeah.
Yeah, I think just find the positives and help lift or keep someone up after a show. There's always something good to come from it. So there's no point in, unless they ask for it, to highlight that. Just remind them just that was great.
Yeah.
And no compliment sandwich unless they ask for a compliment sandwich.
Yeah.
So
just a compliment hug.
Yeah. Yeah, a hug, a slap on the back, a little ass grab, if you're down for that.
I'm all down for that.
Yeah, dude. I
went to a boys' school. We used to.
Oh yeah.
Nothing wrong with a little ass smack, but some people don't like it. I nearly got bashed from giving some dude an ass smack once.
Really?
Yeah. Do you want the story?
Do you know the guy?
No.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's a quick story. I was in El Salvador, and I'm like a touchy-feely guy with my friends. You know, I give my friends hugs.
You gave me a hug, I think, when we met.
Yeah.
You like the hug?
Give people a hug. When you're your friends and, you know, you give them a slap on the butt every now and again, whatever. Like, it's just fun, you know. But then the people that don't like it, and I accept that. But sometimes there was this guy, he was a local guy, and we were partying. I'd met him like a dozen times. I'd rented surfboards off him. And we're at this club. We're all dancing, and I saw him. He comes up to me. He's like, hey, Cam, how you doing? I was like, good, man. Slap, you know, handshake, blah, blah. And then we turned around and gave him a fucking little slap on the butt.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, this guy picked me up. Don't you ever fucking do that again.
Oh. Hey, it was very nice of him.
Yeah.
he did it nicely. I get that. It's tough for me to put myself in his shoes. I try to put myself in other people's shoes. I understand that some people just don't tolerate that.
Yeah.
I think if I got my ass slapped and I didn't like it, I'd say sorry. Like, I'd be like, I'm sorry, I didn't like that.
Of course.
I just can't. I don't know if I can confront someone like that, but
Anyway,
that's his body.
Let's go back to what we were saying. Back to fame.
Yeah.
What are you going to do when it comes? So you actually like the attention.
I like attention. I like attention during the performance or from the content. I do not know how to deal with attention when anyone's giving positive feedback. Like I said, so I struggle with that. But you know, that's a good problem to have.
Great problem.
I don't know. I like making people laugh. So if I can make more people laugh, if I can make strangers laugh, I think I'm leaving the territory of with the shows that I'm doing. It's, you know, it starts out, you know, making your friends laugh. A lot of your friends come to the shows, and I think I have such great supportive friends, and so there's so much value in that. And then there's different value in making people that you don't know laugh, people that didn't come to see you laugh, and that is very rewarding too. And so that is powerful to me. It makes me feel good about myself, that I was me being me without knowing me at all. Me in the moment was something for somebody. And so that means a lot to me. And so just to, you know, hopefully that snowballs. Hopefully we can do that with more people. And I'll deal with whatever comes with that if and when that day may be. But until then, just making a stranger laugh is the best feeling in the world.
It is the best.
What about you?
Yeah, I don't know.
And what is the question? We're just talking about dealing with it. So yeah, what about you? What do you hope to come from everything?
Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously with success is going to come some sort of fame in this industry. So that's a given. But I don't know, man. I'm a pretty quiet, I like my moments of it, but I also like to retract into my own life. I like my solitude. Like I run Central Park all the time. I'd hate to be to be at a point where I couldn't even go for a run in public or something because you would just get swamped by people. I think that would be awful. But that would have to, I mean, it's another good problem to have if that is your life.
Yeah, well,
potentially.
I think that is an extreme because Matt Damon was walking in Central Park, and was anyone bothering him?
Nah.
So I think you'll be. I think everyone will be okay. I think the people that really need high level security 24/7 to prevent anything bad from happening is like a pope, the pope, or a pope. If the pope, present, past, future, a pope, whoever's in that role, and maybe like royal people and Bruno Mars. And Gaga. Like, I don't really think about
comedians.
fame.
Comedians don't seem to get the. I mean, I don't think like Joe Rogan would probably struggle. He would probably struggle. He's very, very famous.
Yeah, but I'm sure that he's put in enough work and enough time has passed as that muscle of his developed to deal with that. That to us, it may seem like, holy shit, that's Joe. But to him, he's just living his life. And I don't know if he is as sensationalized about his whereabouts and things like that as we may be. So I'm not too worried. I'm trying,
No, I don't.
I try not to think about fame. The goal for me is to make people laugh.
Yeah.
And if fame is a byproduct of that, great. Obviously, I want to be famous. Like, there's like, you do this because you want people to like you, and entertainment is something that comes with that. But I just think about trying to make people laugh and make people have a good time. If I can help facilitate a good time in a minor way, in a major way, in any way, make someone not think about whatever they're trying not to think about for a minute, whether it's in a TikTok video for a minute, or if it's on stage for 10, like that is more making someone laugh is more valuable to me than anything else in this life.
Yeah.
I don't know about other ones, but this life, getting a laugh out of anybody, it makes me relieved.
Yeah, I agree. That's all I want. And this podcast for me has given me so much joy.
Yeah.
It truly is. I'm learning so much about myself by doing this. And if I can make a living off doing this in comedy, I'll be happy. It doesn't have to be the grandest living, but if I can make a living where I can comfortably support my family, where my wife doesn't have to work, I can send my kids to good schools. Yeah, if I can get to that point, then I'm happy. Yeah, really. You've
been doing a lot of shows lately. Are you at Broadway?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of traction, which is really nice. I'm very grateful. It's been an awesome, fun journey, and haven't been in the city for all that long, so it's been nice to. Yeah, nice that it's all turning into what it is. Yeah. The way it is. Yeah, it's been super amazing. I never thought. Me and Mel's my wife. We were talking about it last night. She's like, do you remember when you first got here? You were like, even nervous about going and doing comedy. You're even nervous about what was even going to happen and if you should be doing this. And then she's like, look at you now. You just like, leaps and bounds. You're putting in the work and it's paying off. And so it's really good. It's been honestly, this has been the best thing I've ever done in my life. Yeah. Truly. Yeah. It's been truly the best journey. I can die a happy man now. Really. Yeah. There's no wood to knock on. I know you said you're okay if you die now, but it's bad energy. Yeah, we don't want to die now. A little longer. Yeah. Yeah, I feel I feel like that's great. That's a great mindset. That's a healthy mindset. And those are great goals to have. And they're very achievable and you're doing all the right stuff. So just time. Just time. That's all it is. More time. Yeah. So it's great that you're doing what you're doing and maximizing your time. I believe anyone can do what they want to do. I truly believe that. You have to have some courage sometimes to make those decisions, and but there generally is a certain level of discomfort when it comes to especially changing your life or wanting to pivot into something different if that's what you want, or even chasing a long-term goal, because most goals are long-term. They take a lot of time, they take a lot of patience, they take a lot of training. So I believe anyone can achieve anything they want, but you just have to be committed. Yeah. You have to just be committed. And then the best thing is just like a set and forget mentality. Just have it in the back of your mind. Don't think about it all the time, but enjoy the moment. Enjoy each day, because the journey up is just as fun as whatever it is that you think that point in time that you want to achieve is going to give you. It's the journey up, and it's the days, each day, that we live and the interaction with people on our way on that road. That's the best part.
Yeah. I think the best part is coming down from the high after a show. I didn't really,
amazing.
that feeling, you know, some people say like you can say the side effect is fame. I didn't realize that making people laugh, when you make a friend laugh, that feels great. But when you make a group of people laugh, that is a drug.
Yeah.
That is a drug. And to come down from that, last night we had a really fun show with it was a comedy jam. It was with live jazz. Never done anything like that before.
That was with the boys?
Yeah, that was with Brainstorm.
Were you on that show?
That was with Brainstorm, yeah.
Nice, man.
That was with Brainstorm, all the way up at Washington Heights.
What was it like?
It was euphoric, dude.
Wow.
It was truly, you need to be in the moment to win the crowd and have fun with it. So there was a band, it was a jazz band led by, I forget his last name, but it's our friend Noah. And, you know, him and there's two other guys. One guy's playing the bass, one guy's playing the guitar, and he's on the drums. And they're playing music, comic. But when the comic's up, they're playing music in the background too.
Wow.
And so I had my set, and I was like, I can't just do my set because the music's going on the whole time. And these guys are like rhythmic as fuck. They're really good at what they do. They're like so professional, and they're so talented. I was like, let me turn my set into like songs. And it was like I was on a surfboard. It felt like I was on a surfboard. I never met these guys. It felt like I was on a surfboard, and they were the wave with training wheels and just making sure that I never fell off the surfboard. And then we just kind of just meshed, dude. We just meshed. And so we're like singing songs and like making shit up on the fly. And they were riffing too. And we, made it very interactive. And it was so much fun.
Did you film it?
Yeah, I got it on film.
I would love to see that. Can you send it to me?
Yeah, I will. It
Please.
was a blast. I'm gonna try to post some clips. I'm waiting for Alex to send me some audio stuff. But like, I have a slam poem which I think about bread, which I think you've been at a show or two or at a mic where I've done it. But I do this poem about the lack of free bread at restaurants now, and it's normally like a satire making fun of white people. Because of how white I am, I look like I would write a poem like that. I would never do that, and then I do it. But this one, I just did it with the jazz band, and there was a guy playing the saxophone, and it just was a fucking vibe, dude.
Man.
So the musical stuff, I want to do more of that. To songify my set was the most fun I've ever had on stage.
Wow.
And it was a nice, intimate 25-person crowd at like 10 o'clock on a Monday night. Wow. So to be able to put something together on like a weekend, that gets me excited.
Yeah,
that gets me excited.
They're working hard now. These boys are doing some good things.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brainstorm.
Yeah, Alec and Steve put that together. So yeah, that's great.
They're killing. Good on them.
Glad to be in their orbit.
Yeah. So, give me the conception story, the comedy conception story.
Do you ask everyone the comedy conception story?
Most people.
Yeah.
It's a good question to ask.
It is a great question.
Yeah.
I just want to know if that checks out with the theme. I was in Stamford, Connecticut, working in sales, and I was always a fan of comedy. I got an awesome opportunity to work on my favorite podcast, and I left my job and I worked on that, and that brought me to the city. And I always wanted to do stand-up once I got here. You're here for however long it may be. You got to do it now or you'll never do it. You're in New York. You're not going to move out of New York and then move back to New York. So while you're here, you got to do it. It took me a year to bite the bullet and go to my first open mic. I did that, fell flat on my face, went back, did it again. It's been a year and a half, almost 2 years since I did my first one. I think I did my first one in like April or May of 2022, but really like a year and a half because I took a break after that for like 6 months. And I've just been ripping it, making TikToks, trying to do anything I can creatively to earn some money and grow a following and get people, make people laugh, get them interested in coming back for more laughs. And so that's what I've been doing since. It's been great.
Man. Well, you're so funny. I remember seeing you, watching you firstly at a show. It was I think it was one of Harrison and Joe's shows. And you did...
in the basement at Whiskey Cellar.
Whiskey Cellar, that's right. And you were doing impersonations. Actually, were you doing impersonations? No, you were talking about your father-in-law.
Yeah.
Your future father-in-law.
Yeah.
And just some of your jokes were so fucking funny,
Thank you.
man. Yeah, truly.
Thank you. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun. That's why we do it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a blast.
Oh, it's the best. I did a set. I just went to Comedians on the Loose at the Black Cat on Saturday night, but someone had lost their fantasy football bet. Have you seen those when you go to these mics?
I get where this is going. Yeah,
and there was like 100 people packed in Black Cat. It was awesome, and I just killed. I did a great set.
Hell yeah.
And it was new material that I've only been doing for like maybe a week and a half, but it went really good. And I even just walking out of that, it was like I'd just taken a drug.
Mm-hmm.
It was super amazing. I just felt like, how can this even get any better? How can it? When you have those moments where you just know it all went well, you had the audience attention, you got the laughs. I don't think there's anything better than that for me.
No, I agree. It's the best feeling in the world. You can't describe it.
Yeah.
You can't describe it. I have some friends, some people that I work with. One of my friends that I work with, he's at the Cellar. And he's been doing comedy for over 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a long time. And he is for us to make it, like we have to commit like that. Like we have to commit that amount of time.
Yeah.
I have only been doing it for a year and a half, and I am not even a fifth of the way as close to as experienced as I will be when I am 10 years in.
Yeah.
So
there's no shortcut in this journey. And honestly, I think if you try and make shortcuts, from what I'm learning, it can kind of be at your own detriment sometimes too. I think the one thing about comedy is you really need to give yourself time to learn the skill.
yeah,
And it just takes time. It takes a long time. There isn't a shortcut.
no, I do think there is no shortcut, and I agree. You'll fall on your face harder than you would had without the preparation. I do think there's some accelerators.
Of course.
I do think building out social is a great way to market yourself. I don't think necessarily that it is like it's not a cut the line ticket, but it does help you grow a following. It does help you market yourself so that when you are 3, 4, or however many years in, everyone personally has their own timeline. However many years in you think you should be before you start, checking off certain boxes. Like you have an audience that's willing to come, that helps you sell shows, that helps people want to bring you back to do their shows. So I really, that is full on marketing, and I don't think that should be neglected.
I also think getting in front of a live audience as much as you can.
Yeah.
If you can crack that bicky early.
That what?
The bicky biscuit.
The bicky. I like that.
If you can crack it early, then I think it's gonna accelerate your journey in a good way. You can probably cut some time to where you're very comfortable in front of live audiences, because that's obviously the trick.
Yeah.
And New York's a little different because, as you know, and as a lot of the people that listen know, a lot of our practice is in front of open mics, but open mics are generally in front of comics.
Yeah.
Most of them.
Waiting their turn to go up.
Exactly. Whereas around the world, it's not like that. When you do an open mic, it's in front of a live audience generally. And so I think there's a few views here. I've got a few different views with friends. My view is you don't have to wait till you're ready to get in front of a live audience. There is no ready, because that's just putting a limitation on yourself. That's putting a line in the sand and saying, I have to get to this point until I'm ready or worthy of this moment. But that's bullshit. Because in other parts of the world, you'll go up and practice your material, your open mics, in front of a live audience straight away. Mm-hmm. And if that was the mentality, then you wouldn't be able to do that. So I think everyone's obligation is to themselves on their journey as for doing comedy. If you want to do comedy and want to be a professional comedian, you have to really, really try and get in front of live audiences all the time, as much as you can. And there are a lot of opportunities in the city once you start cracking the code.
Tapping.
Yeah.
The most opportunities in this city.
Yeah. It's harder but it's also easier. And there's even open mics that have live audiences once you start dialing into those. Certain mics each night that have a couple of audience members. So
Yeah. It's valuable feedback.
yeah,
You can walk away from each thing with something new that you learned, and you take that with you.
But I also have realized there is some merit in just doing these open mics in front of comics because it flexes a different muscle. It makes you very rigid. It makes you very strong because it's actually kind of worse doing an open mic in front of your peers in a sense that I care more about the judgment from my peers than I do of people that I don't know.
Yeah.
So it does make me want to work harder, and then being around guys all the time constantly makes me want to work harder and be better. I think it's a good thing that we have the opportunity here to do what we're doing. But another question I have for you is, what's your writing style?
That's a good question.
And I like the process of where a bit comes into your mind or your imagination, and then how you get it to a point where you're working it on stage.
So, a couple trains of thought here. So, when I have a show coming up, I am a lot more structured and I dedicate a lot more time to sitting down and buckling up. I need to have something to look forward to really focus. If I don't have a show coming up, I still go to these mics, but I go to these mics with a word or a thought, and then I just start talking about it. And I'll find the joke at the mic. I'll go on a rant, and if I get a laugh, I record everything I do on my watch. I'll go back, I'll listen to that, and then I'll put that down in a different document. And then when it comes time to buckle down, I will condense all of those little notes that got a chuckle under one particular topic, and then I will formulate a flow and a rhythm to turn that into a flushed out bit.
That's good. So you're writing more on stage initially.
Yes.
I love that. Yeah, I'm starting to do that more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a story that I'm doing now, which is working. I've been doing it at a show, which I haven't even written it yet. I put no pen to paper on it whatsoever.
That's great.
I just thought about it. And then I tried it about 4 months ago, and it didn't work. And then I came back, and then I did it a couple of weeks ago at an open mic, then did it at like 4 open mics, and I was like, all right, this is ready. And I still haven't written it at all.
That's the best joke.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear that one.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun story. So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. And then I find that if I go to an open mic with like completely flushed out, ironed out material, hello, this is great. People walking by.
It's a fantastic studio.
Waving.
Shout out to the studio.
Yeah, this is fantastic. That was great. Literally, that person waving to me was like top 5 things that happened today. I don't know about you. That was the best. Just that smile and that just like hi.
There's your fame.
It's just human interaction. I crave it.
Yeah.
I work from home a lot, so like it's lonely. So to see people makes me happy.
Nice, man.
Anyway, the writing style. If I come to a mic with something that I think is going to kill, I usually fall flat on my face because I do a lot of act outs and I do a lot of this voice. And if it doesn't work right away, I completely lose all of my confidence. Whereas if I come with just an idea and I just start rambling about it, I'd say 40% of it or 70% of it's going to be absolute crap, but I'm speaking in the moment. And if I can find one funny thing out of that, that's a great takeaway.
Yeah.
That's a great takeaway. I also record a lot of, if I come up with an idea, any of these things, like these words or phrases, I write it down on my notes app or I do a voice recording. I have thousands of voice recordings. And if it's something that I think would be absolute bonkers good, I will title it so that I go back to it. Otherwise, it's just like voice memo 1,532 and it gets lost.
Yeah.
And then I'd say once a month I do an audit where I check through. I'm like, did anything slip through the cracks? Did I write something that I forgot about? Because if you don't write down your ideas and you forget about them, you want to die. You want to die. So what is your process with capturing a thought?
A lot of the time thoughts will come for me when I'm running or exercising or walking. I haven't got a habit of just sitting down and writing every day yet. I do try to do it like 3 or 4 times a week, but I'm also busy with like this and some other stuff. So I would like to get I'm building my life to a point now soon where I'm going to have really good structure. So I've got now permanent slots in this studio. Come in April, it'll be 4 permanent slots at the same time every week, same day.
That's great.
So I'm starting to build structures. Then my goal will be to then sit down and write every day at certain times, just an hour or maybe an hour and a half or something. But generally, yeah, at the moment, I'm writing a lot just off on stage recently.
That's great.
Just like thinking about what I want to say. All right, there's a little bit of a punchline here. Go up and do it, and then go and do it a couple more times and build it out a little bit. And I'm finding that the stuff that I've written down on paper initially, just as a bit, it kind of gets to a point where I find it's hard to take it any further. And maybe I just don't have the skill yet, and that'll be something that I just have to revisit. I'm finding that as well. Like some stuff that I did like 6 months ago, I can kind of go, oh, all right, I might be able to do that now because I have a bit more skill and can hold in my own a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I got different things. I use notes a lot now. I was using Google. I was handwriting, but my handwriting is atrocious. I can't even read my handwriting half the time, so I try not to handwrite.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating. Everyone's different, and there's not really one method. Everyone's doing it differently. But I do know there's a lot of the pros, the veteran comics, like the Louis C.K.'s of the world, they write on stage, I believe, a lot. So I think it's just a good muscle to flex. So it's amazing that you're doing that. Yeah, that's really cool, man. It's really impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that's for you to come up with just like, have an idea for a punchline and then just find a way to get to it. If it's a swing and a miss, that's fine, but you do it 3 times, you're going to make contact, and that's going to be a very valuable joke to bring into a show with an audience.
Yeah.
So I've found, like you said, with writing down a joke and then it's flushed out and you're like, I don't really know what to do with this. When I write stuff down and then I go and I try to recite it, I'm like, da 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 da, dan 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 dan, and like just it's cadence. I think cadence is just as important as what you're saying. Like, I think equally as important, if not more important, because like stage presence, everyone says like stage presence is one of the most important things. Some people argue, and I might argue, stage presence might be more important than the writing itself. If you have an energy and you have a character and a vibe up there, like that is something that people will buy into right away. Because I'm sure you've heard, and people say all the time, people will they'll form an opinion about you within the first 5 to 15 seconds of you being on stage. And no matter how funny, if you're doing a 10-minute set, no matter how funny the last 9 minutes and 45 seconds of your set is, if you come up on stage and you have this weird energy or you're not connecting with the crowd right away, they are tuning out.
Yeah.
They do not want to root for you.
And I mean, I don't know everything. I'm an idiot, but I am observing a good structure for people is to, at least early on in the set, maybe your first couple of minutes, is to like let the audience know who you are. Then go veer off and do your stuff. But I think I seem to be observing a pattern here of guys that I look up to and guys that are doing well, especially even more edgy people. But when they give out a bit of who they are and let a little bit of vulnerability out of who they are, and that kind of seems to win the audience over, and then you can kind of shoot with where you want to go. Do you agree?
Yeah. Completely. You gotta, I'm a white guy with blonde hair and blue eyes. I come on stage and people, might be like, ugh, not another guy. So I make fun of myself. I don't like punching down. I don't like making fun of other people. I like making fun of myself. I have a friend, Peter, that I lived with for like 6 years after college, and great dude, one of my best friends. And if I got a laugh out of him, it truly was the best laugh to ever receive. It was the biggest compliment in the world to make my friend Pete laugh. And once I got him going, if I just kept poking and just get him laughing so hard that like he couldn't handle it, like he handles life very well. He's a very diligent and serious and well-structured, organized, work ethic person. And if I can just break that guy, it feels great to me. And so darn it, I just completely lost my train of thought. Dude, what are we talking about?
We're talking about making people laugh.
How does that happen? How does that
I don't
happen?
know. We both kind of
really-
dropped off at the same time. Doesn't matter.
I
Man.
had
It
a
doesn't
point.
matter.
I had a point with this friend particularly, but
We're talking about coming up with ideas and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like we're talking about where it comes from and the place in which you develop it.
yeah, I guess. Oh my god!
So
I lost the last 2 minutes of what I said. I had a point with this particular friend. Oh yeah, living with this person for that long, getting a laugh out of him, and just keep poking and poking. It had to do with making fun of myself and me being a silly, over exaggerated idiot. And so when that type of laugh, I'm trying to get from a stranger.
Yeah.
If we could maybe tighten, I don't know if we could tighten that so I don't seem so dumb with that. But
Yeah.
if I don't care. But yes, we got to the point. If I can get a stranger to laugh like that, that's the best. And the only way that I've found getting someone to laugh like that is by being self-deprecating. And I think that is something that if you're being yourself and you're making fun of yourself, no matter who the audience is, it's hard to hate that person. They're acknowledging their shortcomings. And I don't mind being a punching bag on stage. You know, I as long as someone's laughing and, you know, I'm not beating, like I'm not completely degrading myself. Like I like myself. I have pillars and I have a backbone, but I like making people laugh. It's at my expense. That's fine. Yeah. I don't want to punch down on other people.
No, I'm not. I do a little tiny bit with a few jokes, but it's not bad. It's all in good humor.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the hardest thing. I got a friend that's starting comedy now, and he's about to do a course, and he's running over his jokes that he's got, and they're all jokes about other people and other things. And I've been telling him like, hey man, like I don't know everything, but I think a better place to start is just to make jokes about yourself.
Yeah.
Because until you have the skill to pull it off, that's another thing, you know, you really need to be able to have the skill. It's a delicate balance. When you're punching down on someone, you can do it, but it has to sort of be done in a way that's very delicate, where you look at both sides and you're objective to both sides. You don't just punch down on them, you punch down on the other thing and you kind of bring it home and make your point. Or punch up on something else and vice, you know. There's a dance, and professional comedians can really do that well, but amateur comedians just can kind of look like dickheads.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the only way you can really pull off punching down on others is if you're like a one-liner comedian, and it's got to be an amazing joke. Like a lot of, you'll hear jokes like something that starts with the premise like a Jew and an Italian or blah blah blah. The punchline better be the next thing you say, and then you better move on to do another joke because now you're like putting like you just. That's tough. I don't.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm about or I care to do.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, early on, a lot of my jokes were when I was going to open mics. They were kind of mean, and they weren't about me.
Same.
And so then I realized one joke that did work was when I was making fun of myself, and it opened people's ears. And so that's what you want. You want them to listen to you when you're up there. So you got to find a way to get them interested.
Yeah. So you getting married soon?
May.
Congratulations, brother.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Any advice?
My advice is it gets better.
It gets better?
Yeah. That's what I'm learning anyway. Yeah, I think with all good things, they take time. And I don't know what your relationship's like. It seems very healthy. But I think like if you're ever having troubles, just know it just takes time. You kind of figure each other out the longer you grow together and the older you get. You can also figure each other out and it doesn't work, but God willing, it does. I just think it's everything just takes time. So try and be as understanding as you can. And the easiest way to diffuse a situation, I think, is just go up to them and go, you know, I really love you. I really love you. Give them a kiss and be like, look, let's not fight. There's no point. Let's not fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I've been with my lovely fiance for almost 9 years now.
Wow.
We've been together for a while. So we know each other inside and out.
You've got to figure it out. Yeah.
And she, I mean, life's going to happen, but she is my best friend and we have such a great understanding of each other. And and she's the one that pushed me to get into comedy.
Good on her.
When I was, a little like, oh, I don't need to do it. Ryan, do it.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of person that I'm getting married to. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Good on you, man.
But I will say,
it makes life a lot easier, dude, when you got a good woman there.
Oh, hell yeah.
It makes it a lot easier.
She's the most amazing person I've ever met. I'm so grateful that she's interested in me. So the one thing I will say with an argument, if I'm ever frustrated or anything, I'll be like, I love you. I gotta go for a walk.
Yeah.
I love you so much. I gotta
Yeah.
leave. I gotta leave because I love you and I gotta leave right now because I love you so much. So I'm gonna leave. So it's healthy.
That's healthy, dude.
It is healthy.
It is. You gotta walk away sometimes.
Yeah, I'm excited. We're getting married in Massachusetts.
Okay.
And
big wedding or
100 I think we're inviting 130.
Wow.
So yeah, the venue is like it's an outdoor estate. And we're excited. We're really excited.
Wow.
So
Is that where you're from originally?
she's from there.
Okay.
I'm from Jersey. She's from there. We met in college in Connecticut.
Okay.
Moved here together.
Amazing.
Several years later.
Okay. What's her name?
Victoria.
Shout out to Victoria.
Yeah. I like to call her Big Dick Vic because her name is Victoria Anush Johnson. So if she had an LL Bean backpack back in the day, her initials would say VAJ on the back.
VAJ.
And sometimes I like to put my hats on her head, and then I call her Big Dick Vic.
Yeah.
Because she looks like she plays for the other team.
Good on her.
She's great. She's a good time. I love her family, and I love my family.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, I'm excited. So when did you get married?
I got married in November.
You get or got?
I got married in November.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And how has that been?
Been great.
What is your wife's name?
Mel.
Mel?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been good. It took a little bit of time and patience because we kind of jumped straight in the deep end. I moved here in June and moved straight in with her. And it took some time to get to know each other. And she had her own life. I invaded her space and so it's taken a while to get the harmony, but we're there now. It's great.
It's
like
fantastic.
Turned out to be the best relationship I've ever had. And she helps me out so much. And like I said, it's going to be such a rewarding moment for me when I can say, "Hey, dolls, you don't have to work anymore."
Yeah,
I'm gonna love that. That's gonna be that's a very point in my life which I'm very much looking forward to having. Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, I think I'm just my fiance. She is a business boss. She's badass and she loves what she does. So my goal is for us to continue doing what we're doing, just everything a little more escalated. Yeah. I want her to keep enjoying her career. I want mine to continue to flourish and live life along the way. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. It's great.
Good on you, man. Well, give us your socials. Camera's there.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome.
It's been an absolute blast hanging out. You guys can check me out. Thanks for listening. Ryan is really polite on all socials. Twitter is Ryan is polite. Somebody got ahead of the handle. But I'd appreciate if you guys check out any of my work. I post any shows that I'm on my story, and I will try my best to entertain you. So that's what it's all about. So thank you, and please.
Ryan Lynch, guys. This guy is one to look out for. He's a fucking champion. He's going to one day be the GOAT. I've no doubt in my mind about that. He's a very, very talented young man. He's committed to the art. He's just a really good guy and a really great comic. So check him out. And if you're listening to this, go back and listen to all the episodes that you haven't listened to. Let's support this community we're trying to build. Ryan, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate you, bro. See you on the next one, guys. Hey, guys. Thanks for listening to this episode of Going After It with Cam Bird. Produced by Cam Bird. Podcast edited by Calpit. Music by Brian Rigby. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. And if you can, get after it.